The views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect that of the staff and management of WNOV and W293 CX 106.5 FM Courier Communications Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
The views and opinions expressed in this program do not reflect those of Wisconsin Voices. The views and opinions expressed by host and guests are their own, and their appearance on the show does not imply any endorsement or representation by Wisconsin Voices. Thank you for listening to Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices.
Be a voice.
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 Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voices.
And this is the second day of our state fair.
I'm excited to go down there. I've never been to even when I lived in Ohio, I never went to the state fair. So I'm really excited this year to go visit the Wisconsin State Fair.
It's a really big thing here.
I saw a little clip of, and the one thing that has drawn me in, and as a definite yes, is the food. I mean, the food.
The food is off the chain. They have very new, innovative food choices. They do a lot of creative stuff.
Very creative.
But one thing I have to have you get, and that is a cream puff.
Oh,
you cannot go without getting a Wisconsin cream puff. I'm talking about they are off the chain.
I even heard, I think they're doing, somebody said deep fried lemonade. I would love to know how they're doing this. I would love to know how they're doing this.
Yeah, I'm going to pause.
I mean, it seems like they deep fry anything anymore, right? I mean, a candy bar, chocolate, whatever they can.
They deep fry macaroni.
Oh, right.
They deep fry pickles.
They can deep fry about anything.
I wonder if they gonna deep fry ketchup.
Hey, it's worth a shot.
Oh, they deep fry mashed potatoes now too.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That's amazing. I was like, hold on. When the lady explained the other day about the deep fried mashed potatoes, well, I ain't do this.
But we're already in August. I can't believe it already. That would, we're in fair time.
Said she put it in the bowl and dip it in some batter and deep fry it. And when you chew it, you taste the the deep fry outside, but the inside is mashed potato. Like, hey, it all depends on if you pick it. So you probably can, they probably will let you put bacon, cheese, like a loaded potato in there. It probably would tast better like that.
I can eat my mashed potatoes without gravy. I just can't have them without gravy. It's just a little weird.
Deep fried mashed potatoes.
I throw some gravy
dry
on top
meat.
of that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I throw.
Boil it, rub it, strip it down. Oh no, we got to deep fry it. So what's been going on in the world of in the political world?
I mean, every day it's a new surprise, right? I mean, there's just there's stuff going on all the time. It seems like we're getting into high gear here with the election. We're going to talk about some places that you can go to early vote here in Milwaukee. That's already open for the August 13th primary.
Mm-hmm.
Votes are already being cast, so it's your chance to get out there and vote. I'll have those for you here a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
But just going back to some of the things that we've talked about in the past, I just wanted to bring one article that kind of drew my attention this morning. Have you been watching the Olympics at all?
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love watching the Olympics. I think it's great.
We behind in gold medals, but
we are. But Simone Biles has helped us out quite a bit in catching that gap up. But she had a really profound tweet, I guess on X. I don't know if they're called tweets anymore, but after winning gold, she posted on X that I love my black job, in response to singer Ricky Davila, who had also posted that the iconic photo of the GOAT mastering her black job and collecting gold medals. So I mean, we had to have that discussion before about what is a black job. Well, here's one of them right here, winning gold medals for our country, I think.
Yes, it is. And I am glad you did bring that up again, Joe, because that was a very hot topic for our community. And it is like we said, it's like define what is a Black job, a Hispanic job, a Korean job, a white job. Define this for me. I'm not asking you. I'm saying the political party that's defined that they're taking all the Black jobs and Hispanic jobs from coming across the border. Please define. So, like she said, because my Black job, I love my Black job. I feel great in it. I've been doing it for dang near 20 years, and I love my Black job.
Yeah, I mean, I love my job. I don't know if it's a Black job, a white job, a Hispanic job, or what job it is. That, you know, I love.
What race are you?
Right. I mean, you know, it's
whatever race you are. If you're Caucasian, it's my white job.
Exactly. You know, it goes back, and I always like to recite Martin Luther King Jr. You know, that we should judge people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. And
say that again.
Look, it's can you do the job? Yeah. Are you qualified and capable of doing the job? It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your background is. It just matters, can you do the job or not?
That is correct. Yeah. That is about the best way that you actually can put it. Mm-hmm. We want to hear from our viewers, but I have a viewpoint on that as well. But we want to hear from our viewers at 414-444-5250 or 414-444-5253. And another comment on that, because that's really getting into the topic of what we wanted to kind of talk about today, is elections and the state of the Black economy. Mm-hmm. So another part of that we've been hearing a lot from the different political parties, because they're campaigning, so they have a lot to say. And like I said, I want to know what your plans is, but I've heard one that often talk about Black capitalism. And I'm going to start with explaining to you what Black capitalism is, and then we have a caller. But let me explain to you about what Black capitalism is.
Give us the definition.
Black capitalism is a concept that emerged some decades after World War II and took on popular traction. Sometime around the Richard Nixon, or sometime around when Richard Nixon was elected as president of the United States. Nixon had endorsed the idea that the human rights of Black America was intimately bounded up with their rights to own property and accrue the economy's power that came from perpetuatory wealth. Around that junction, 1969, some 163,000 Black firms existed in the United States. The fact that Black businesses and economic thinkers flourished in the first half of the 20th century has been ignored or neglected in standard economy history books until relatively recent. Recently, we have started really recognizing that for that's what they said. Relatively recent. Thank you. And we start recognizing it in the present. Mm-hmm. And it's a concept that I want to really dive into this concept. Do you think that's good do you think that would be a healthy way to approach having a better economy for the Black community?
Right. We have a caller. Why don't we go ahead and listen to see what our caller has to say? And caller, you're on.
Hello, caller, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Black job. That's the job to get you to pay your rent, pay your bills, keep the electric on and the gas. Make sure your car got insurance, and make sure your kids got clothes on their back. It's something to eat.
Amen. You said it.
What I'm saying, I'm taking the job. You got to want a job for somebody to be taking a job. Mm-hmm. So we don't need more manual labor. The people that know what they're doing. I've been to Mexico. I see the way their houses look. So I wouldn't trust them to do my house anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And on that part,
Yeah.
thank you for your comment, sir. And the views of our audience are not the views of Wisconsin Voices or WNOV 860. We have another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum to you all.
Make a salam.
Yes, ma'am. You are talking about people coming to take jobs. And I think people should take this into consideration. This is like,
No, we didn't say. Let's get that clear. We didn't say people are coming to take jobs. We said that is one of the political stances.
That's one of the talking points.
one of the, what do they call it? Dog whistle or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. This is not at you all.
Okay.
I'm trying to provide some perspective as to what the statement is actually meant to convey. What it is, the purpose of such a statement or a supposition is to incite rivalry between two people who are pretty much broke, not necessarily economically, but broke in the sense that they lack the continuity to work together either on one end or the other end when it comes to our Latino brothers and sisters and what has been done to Mexico and all of those satellite republics, or what they call banana republics, with regard to the United States of America, how they were purposely disrupted and destroyed. And that is part of the reason why the people are coming here. Some of them from Mexico have a natural orientation to this part of the northern or western hemisphere with regard to Nevada, California, Texas, and things in those places. But they don't have a natural orientation where we are located, unless they are more native, which they most not. They're most likely are not. So the Mexican people are of the Spaniards. They speak Spanish because the Spaniards interrupted their lives, and they have an inclination to that part of themselves because that is the white or the Caucasian part of their genetic composition. All in all is this. If you are a slave on a plantation with another slave and you think that this slave has a higher position than you do, you are foolish and you are going to commit an act one to the other to fulfill the desires of the slave master and his children. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that comment.
Yeah,
I appreciate
you.
it because I totally understand what you're saying. It's your mindset.
Yeah.
It's how you perceive it. If you, like me as a Black woman, I respect all people and I congratulate when I see somebody doing well. I don't see somebody with a nice car and be like, I have a Lincoln and my sister bought a Lincoln. And I'm proud that we both got Lincolns. If my dad was living, he'll be like, well, geez, was a Cadillac man. But if he was living, it's a luxury car. He'll be like, yeah, I'm proud of my girls. They both got Lincoln. I didn't look at my sister like, you just went and bought a Lincoln because I bought a Lincoln. Or she didn't look at me like, oh, I got a Lincoln, so you just went and got one. It's like, it's your perspective of how you want to view things and how you want to look at things.
Well, he talked about a little bit about, you have to want the caller before about wanting a job. But there's also another factor that in these communities, there's not the opportunities to learn those skills, to learn the skilled trades. There's not those opportunities open to all those communities. as they were in, say, a community that I was raised in, where we had ample resources and ample places to go and learn a skill or develop your education. I just feel like that a lot of times those communities are at a disadvantage because they don't have the opportunity. So they don't have the knowledge that, hey, this is what I need to do. This is how I develop my skills. This is how I sharpen my skills and get a better job so I can provide more, so I can do better.
And also, I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but I feel like in the back of a lot of African Americans' mind, a lot of Blacks' mind, they have that I don't want to be a slave mentality. So they feel like if I get a job or if I work, it's got to be meaningful to me. It's got to be worth what I'm doing. So
slave to the grind, essentially. I
Right.
think that's the saying that everyone says, a slave to the grind.
Right.
It's sometimes it's not really. I worked a bunch of factory jobs before I graduated college, but I remember days dreading going into some of those factories on a hot day like today, where there's no air conditioning and you're standing next to a press that's 150 degrees. Your sweat's just pouring off. You don't want to be there. It's
And
tough.
that's just a lot of mentality
But
in
you
the back
have to have
of your
that
mind.
mentality that, in order to put food on my table, in order to continue to accelerate, in order to sharpen my skills so I can become
I got to crawl
to
before
go
I
to the
walk.
next level, so I can get up to that next level where I want to be. There's some work that some sacrifice that has to go into that.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And that's one of the biggest goals that I see a lot of people trying to achieve. If I work if I work this fast food job, next job I get is gonna be something a little bit better.
Right.
Something I'm either gonna be the manager or I'm going on to another skill.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. A lot of people choose not to stay stagnated in one place. They choose to move up. I'm going to make sure if I work this job, I'm going to make sure my next job be more meaningful.
Catch Wisconsin Voices via Voice Radio every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. as we focus on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices via Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org. Wisconsin Voices 3 pillars: protecting democracy, teaching advocacy, building community.
The best way I describe to everybody is like with asthma, you're already breathing through a straw. You're not getting that full pressure of air. And then on these small days like this, there's no air outside. So when I walk out the door out of my air, I can't feel, I can't breathe. It's pulling more air, trying to breathe harder. So I love it. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day, but for me, it's more of I gotta go home and
stay in that air conditioning,
sit in the house, because it's not fun to me. I like going out. My guy invited me to the state fair, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. And he's so sweet. He like, where you going? I'm just gonna pay for parking and leave you in the car with the air conditioner on.
You can watch the Ferris wheel going around in the parking lot.
He said, I'm gonna leave you in the car with the air conditioner on. And you like, that's good. I'm like, yeah, it's good that I'll be under the air conditioner, but I want to be in the state fair. I don't want to sit in the car.
They can bring you some food back, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking during the break, again, just about the Black jobs and about the Black economy. And I think that's a great topic to just continue to discuss. And I think we want to hear from our callers as well.
Yes.
What are your suggestions on how to uplift the Black economy in these communities, within Milwaukee or across the country? What are your ideas? What are your thoughts?
And that is at 414-444-5250, 414-444-5253. We would love to hear from our community. What is your suggestions or solutions on how to bring a wealthy economy to the Black community?
And I think, and I'll even go first, and I'll say, it starts with patronizing those businesses,
Mhm.
and the Black-owned businesses and those that are in those communities. One example is, for my healthcare, I go right down here, right on Capitol. Even
Okay.
though I live downtown, it's a way to support this community and keep those low cost and free clinics going when I can use my insurance there and help pay for my care. That money goes right back into the community to help other
pay
people.
for somebody else's
So
care.
that's one example of how we can all work together to really uplift the economy in these communities. But just by visiting them, not, restaurants, retail shops.
That's the main thing, is visiting these these communities, small businesses,
Mhm.
the mom and pop shops, the mom and pop restaurants,
Yep.
which I just on 35th and Capitol right here, Mr. Greavy's, man, they breakfast is off the chain.
Is that the one you brought in the other day? I mean, let me tell you guys about this. She brought in breakfast the other day, and you could smell it throughout the whole office, and it smelled absolutely wonderful. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you are good.
It smelled so good.
A mom and pop shop. And just moved to that community and was like, I want to check out on some of the new restaurants in this area. I like breakfast. I make my own breakfast mostly all the time, but I love going out for breakfast sometimes and just having a different, unique taste. And boy, I was like, ooh.
Well, sometimes it's really easy to go to those familiar places. We see the Golden Arches, or we see those corporation businesses within the community, and they're everywhere, especially in the Black community, in the Black area.
I travel way out to Denny's.
But and if you look, those are always busy. But we have such great mom and pop shops right here in the neighborhood. We have great food trucks right here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That, I mean, would rival some of the top restaurants downtown.
Yeah.
And so, I encourage everybody, come down here come down on the north end and try out some of these restaurants and
little shops
that have the same have better stuff than your chain stores.
Yeah.
You're going to find it may cost a couple extra dollars sometimes, but the quality and the support that you're giving that business is going right back into the community.
And guess what? When you really sum it up, that's the gas that it's going to take to go way out to Mayfair, to go way to Southridge, to go way to Brown Deer, to some of the shopping stores. So to Mequon and Butler, that's the gas.
Yeah.
It's really, and we got to realize that our people that has these small businesses, they have to purchase product as well.
Right.
And when they purchase the product, it's not cheap for them.
No, the cost of doing businesses continues to rise. I mean, it's expensive for all of us just to live and run our household. Running a business is just as expensive, if not more. They're putting a lot of times putting their livelihood on the line. They're putting a second mortgage on their house so that they can finance that business. To me, it's our responsibility to support those businesses, those small, locally owned businesses, so that we can uplift the community and put some wealth back into these communities.
And that was why we had the comment about Black capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like that trickle down effect.
Oh boy, you didn't say the word, did you? The trickle down, because it caused a big stink the last time.
What is capitalism?
Right,
it's saying a wealthy person, because we talking about Black jobs, Hispanic jobs, the economy, and different parties have distinguished that they're taking all the Black jobs and Hispanic jobs. Now we're going to talk about Black capitalism. So Black capitalism in itself is a wealthy person spending money back down to the less fortunate till it gets to the poorest person. If that is what our society.
But how's it working for everyone?
And now we're almost there.
Watch it, I know it's Friday, but it just doesn't work across the board equally for everyone.
Right.
It works for some people. It works for some, but it doesn't work for all. And anyone that would say otherwise, I would encourage them to come down, and
I would encourage you to call.
Yeah, encourage you to call or come on down and get your hands dirty right here in the community and see it for yourself. I mean, it does not work. It doesn't work. We see when we have food pantries, the lines are getting longer, the food's getting smaller. The need and the need for resources, the need for just the basic things to survive are growing larger, and the resources are growing smaller. So we need to do better. I'm not saying that I have all the answers as to how to fix the economy or how to fix the situations that we're in, but I think that there's enough smart people out there that can put it together and figure it out.
Yes. And you got to think of it. This is dear to me because when I think about all these things in the economy and the state of where our country is going right now, I kind of like brings me back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood.
Yeah.
And it really started over Memorial Day weekend. And the riot started then, but that feeling from our counterparts, our Caucasian counterparts, were envy already. That they were poor and they were watching these Black people that was supposed to be less than them in society actually build and pretty much have a Black Wall Street, and they had banks and churches and own acres and houses, and they all owned and shared it together. They owned their own business, but they all supported one another and helped each other build up and get where they were. And it exploded on the weekend of Memorial Day weekend. And they got different quotes on how many people died, but on the average, they said back then they said 36 people, 26 Blacks, 10 whites. Nowadays, they're doing studies and saying it was 150 to 200 Blacks and 50 whites. So I'm not going to get into that part, but I'm going to get into every African American have the right to succeed in this country. And it goes back to what I was saying, in the back of their minds, it's a lot that go on in our mind on America and how we were treated in America. And the young man said, it's your perception. True, it's your perception, but it's also in the back of our minds that we don't want to be enslaved. We don't want to be judged, and we don't want to grind so hard that we lose sight of life. And that is not being selfish to me, especially what's been given to us from America. That's not being selfish. That's actually something you should expect from the history of what happened within our generations. So I just look at it like our people have a lot of work to do. And I am so for stop thinking somebody else is going to come save us. We need to start really understanding our politics, doing what we got to do to go vote, educate one another on all these politicians, and stop saying, our vote don't count. I'm not voting. Because if our vote didn't count, we wouldn't have history in Wauwatosa right now.
They wouldn't be fighting to stop your vote. So
they would look at, and what trips me out, Joe, is look how much they're arguing over the Black vote right now.
If it wasn't important, they wouldn't be trying to fight so hard to keep you out of the voting booth.
Right. All the way down to Trump literally said the other day that Kamala Harris was not Black. Like, what? And he said she ain't never identified herself as African American. She's been Jamaican and Indian all her life.
Oh my. I don't,
I have no words for that. I have no words, because that don't even make one bit of sense. That is my point of what I was saying of the Black vote and how much it counts, down to they are literally calling what race you is. Like, you African American, well, you got Africa in you, and you got
you're not all black.
Oh, you not all black. You got Orion in you, and
I mean, come on now. It's getting.
remember back when racism, in the good old days.
It was a good old days for who?
Remember back then, you had 1 ounce of black blood, you was what? Black.
Yep.
Now we done got to the point where, ooh, she ain't got no ounce of African American slave blood in her, so she ain't no black person. She ain't no African American.
And don't let, as if that's a reason for black people not to vote for her, because she's even
that should show them right there that your vote matters.
It does.
Why this is the head office literally campaigning, and this is what their campaigns are over: the black vote and how to convince black people who cares the most for them.
Yep. And if you look at even the polls that have been coming out recently, they're showing the black voter. They're saying, well, this is what it was when Joe Biden was in the race. This is how it's changed since Vice President Harris entered the race. So if it wasn't important, it wouldn't be on all the news headlines. It wouldn't be the talking points, and they wouldn't be fighting so hard to stifle your vote and stifle your voice. If it wasn't as important as it is. I mean, black Americans have historically pushed one president or the other over the edge. The black vote is so important, and that's why it's important for everyone to get out and vote.
It really is. I mean, like you said it to the complete T right there. The black vote is literally what they are as they say, quoting. How you say that word? Because I'm country. When they you date
is a country.
What's that word when you dating forget it.
Gosh, you got me kind of But we talk about voting so much, Latoya, and we talk about the importance of it, and you don't
coating.
Okay.
There's codes in the black vote.
You don't have to wait to have your voice heard. Voting is going on right now. Early voting for the August 13th primary is going on, and you have an opportunity to have your voice heard. I'm just going to go, since we were into it, I'm going to go down the list here real quickly. Capitol Drive Voting Center on Capitol Drive, Ziegler Municipal Building, Sablocki Library.
You only talk about me, Ziegler.
9 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays, July 30th through August 9th. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturdays, August 3rd and August 10th. And noon to 4 p.m. Sunday, August 4th. You can also vote early at the Good Hope Library, Tippecanoe Library, and Washington Park Library from 1 to 7 Tuesdays, July 30th and August 6th, Monday, August 5th. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, July 31st through August 2nd and August 7th through August 10th. And 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturdays, August 3rd and August 10th. So this is your call to get out and vote. And if you have any questions about how to vote, how to register, where to go for the polls, you can go to myvote.wi.gov.
There we go. We got a caller. Okay, caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
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 There, caller.
His phone. He's probably has something going on with his phone.
Yeah, but
I mean, he definitely can call back.
It's a great time. Like I said, early voting's going on. You can wait till the August 13th. If you haven't registered, you can go down to your local clerk's office, or you can register at the polling location the day of.
All right, caller, you're on the air.
I'm back.
I'm back.
I want to correct you. Don't you jump out there and say it was on my phone. The problem probably was on your phone.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, this is the Reverend Dr. Andrew Ward. And they been talking about the race in this election. And I want to give a couple of historical points. Some of the first people to come over to this country from
Can you turn your radio down?
some of the first people to come over from the foreign countries to this world were indentured servants, white and black. And then somebody came over with this brilliant idea of white and black. And they made the blacks permanent slaves while the whites were not. They could work themselves out of slavery. Point I'm trying to make is they came up with white and black so stupid, ignorant people could then discriminate easily. And that's borne out by light, black, and white, not about white, pants for white. Jewish people who are very much prejudiced against, if they change their name and change it and hide their religion, they can go for white. Anybody that's almost white can go for white. And white is to their advantage. And they have the same caste system in India, China, and everywhere. They have what you call the niggers everywhere. And because if there are no blacks, there's some whites or whatever the main race is that play this low-class slave role. I'm going to leave it at that. And y'all have a good one.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties there for a second.
We got another caller and he's trying to hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, caller. You're on air.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for calling back.
Oh, don't apologize.
And I will not announce myself. But what I like to say is a response to what is a misperception about what happened to Black people here in America. And to minimize it is to do a absolute and an utter disservice to the most tragic experience that a particular people have experienced. It was 64 years. There was a game show that was called the $64,000 Question. And what that game show actually represented was the 64-year period that it took when the slave catcher and the slave maker, the slave trapper, slave catcher, trapper, maker, when they went to the motherland and our people, the Arab people, who are a composition of black and white, what we have to understand is that Arabs are no distinct or anomaly with regard to the genetics of people. The only thing is that white people represent a part of the original man that was made, that is the most evil expression of a human being that has ever existed and will ever exist. And now we are at the finality of their world. And I'm going to go with this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this with regard to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said that this world represents this world, what evil, given power, would give rise to. And if you all, any of you, think that Jesus, the son of Mary, of 2,000 years ago, died for this world to live in perpetuity, I would say for certain you are absolutely out of your mind. Thank you.
Thank you for that call.
Thank you for your call.
I think it's another.
We have another call.
Oh.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Can you turn your radio down?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was sitting here in my truck and I had to chime in on this one. Especially when you know something, Black folk, we're caught up in the past. And what we're doing is we're letting the future slip away from us because we're so focused on the past. Other people are coming into this country from other nations that are taking this place by storm. And we can sit here, we can play the old slavery games, and we know where we've been. Half of them people that's coming into these countries know where they've been. But as long as white and the internet has been a real enemy to us because the knowledge has been so great that it's overwhelming. And I just heard one of the lower callers calling and talking about the Arabs. Let me say something to you. The Arab is a very dangerous person, and he had the black man in slavery well before the European. He was doing business with the European, and European cut him out and said, we're going to go this route. But and when you talk about Jesus, the Quran mentions the mother Mary of Jesus over 26 times in that Quran. The Bible only talk about it 2 or 3 times. She mentioned maybe three to 4 times in the Bible, but the Quran talks about that virgin birth, the special mother of Jesus that makes him divine. So I don't know why people want to come in and put down the Lord when there is, you understand me, mentions Mary more than the Bible because of the divine, the divinity, his birth is what's so great about Jesus. Then what's more great about Jesus than all the rest of them? Got up. He got up out the grave. And that's what made Jesus more superior than all the Confucius and all of the Muhammad of Arabia and all of the Buddhas and everything, because he was born of a divine birth. Not only was he born of a divine birth, because some people might want to track that back and say, well, that story was stolen. Guess what? He got up. That story wasn't stolen. And with that, I'm out.
Please join Wisconsin Voices every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We will be focusing on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
The 3 pillars of Wisconsin Voices are protect democracy, build community, and teaching advocacy. Go to wisconsinvoices.org to learn more about Wisconsin Voices and our partners, and to stay up to date on all community events. If you like and want to support Wisconsin Voices and the work that they do, please click on the donation tab.
We had a lot of conversation today, and it's really about the state of the Black economy. And a lot of different ways to approach it. It's a lot of different ways people would like to see our economy grow, especially in the BIPOC communities.
Mhm.
I'm not just going to say the African American, but BIPOC communities. We have more than not people that struggle, and we would like to see the numbers change around. So we also we just want to wind down. We know it's getting close to us, the show ending. We want to remind people that you already can early vote. So Joe gave you the sites that you can go to early vote. We're asking people to go out and exercise your right. And it is really important for us to make our voice heard, or don't fuss about it. If you don't vote, then you should not be talking about any of these politics. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. Well, you have good afternoon, caller. You have maybe 1.5 minutes.
I don't need much time. For the BIPOC community, the Black community, the poor community, all they need is financial literacy. Because most of the debt that anybody is in is interest and finance charges and getting ripped off in a purchase with no financial frame of reference. And I'd be willing to keep that by pro bono. And y'all have a good one.
Oh, thank you so much. He made a really, really good point that, these are the things that we don't get taught in school a lot of times, is about that financial literacy aspect, how to pay bills, what does a credit score mean? Those kinds of things. Those are really, really important stuff to not just.
When is it okay to have a high interest rate and a low interest rate?
Right. What does a low interest and a high interest rate look like?
Right.
You know, how do you know if I come at you and I say I'm giving you a 7% interest rate on a car loan? Do you know if that's good or bad right now?
Right.
You have no idea. But you know, having the knowledge and the whereabouts to know where to look for that information is so important, and just to navigate every day.
When can you refinance the car? When would it and get a lower interest rate which will knock thousands off your?
How can I get a home loan? A lot of folks don't understand that there are so many programs out there to help you buy a house. It's unheard of. I mean, there are so many different programs out there, but it's having the literacy and the knowledge to know where to go. Who do I ask? What programs do I apply for? A lot of times folks just don't know where to go.
And also, those loans were, because I had a person tell me, why can't we get cash loans? You have excellent credit. Why can't I get a large cash loan and buy me a house straight out and then pay off the loan? And usually they always say cash loans, the interest rates be modest.
Yeah, they're a little higher, right?
Yeah.
Like on something that's a little more unsecured like that.
Right.
But at the same
time.
So
people don't even know that that's not a good idea. I'm saying, but they think that cash loans is like the greatest thing because it's cash and you can spend it the way you want. And you just pay back that loan, but it's actually higher interest rate on that.
And we've seen the predatorial, the predatorial lending where folks go into these communities and you see the payday loans, the auto title loans, and the things with these outrageous interest rates. And folks are just like, I just need money to get through the week, but they don't understand that they're getting stuck into a hole where you're never going to get out. It's going to be so hard to get out of that, that you're constantly, as soon as you get a check, you're paying, it's all going to pay off a loan that you took 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, you know, being aware of those predatorial lending practices is really, really important to everybody when you're trying to navigate financing or, you know, to buy a new car, to get a new home, to apply for a loan, whatever.
It is. And also, back to the election, we have 2 referendums on that ballot, and it's pretty much talking about
money. About money. Yeah. I mean, it makes the world go around, right? So yeah, there are 2 referendums on the ballot, and they're both kind of similar. It's about who really, and for the layman's terms, I think we've read it a couple times, the full text of the referendums on the show, but just to give the Cliff Notes, it's kind of deciding who has the power to spend federal dollars in the state of Wisconsin. And we were talking before the show that, when we get emergency federal dollars, or say there's a disaster or COVID or any number of things come up, we need to get that money to the folks that need it as fast as humanly possible. And if we have to go through legislature, if we have to go through the Assembly and the Senate, and then wait for the bill for the law to be able to come into effect, there are a lot of people out there hurting, waiting on that money and where it could be used.
And it hurts small businesses really bad.
So we want that power to stay with the governor. We want the governor to be able to dole that money out where he feels it's necessary in a very timely manner. He has the ability to do that a lot faster than the legislator will. So we are recommending that folks vote no on the referendums. Double no.
And opinions expressed on this show do not reflect that of the staff and management of WNOV and W293 CX 106.5 FM Courier Communications Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
The views and opinions expressed in this program do not reflect those of Wisconsin Voices, but are those of the host and guests of this particular show. And their appearance on the program does not imply any endorsements or representation by Wisconsin Voices. Thank you for listening to Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices.
Be a voice.
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 Visit WisconsinVoices.org. Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voices.